Chuck, you know I have history with the Titanic.
Hopefully that history is not you were on it. Let's hope that is not the history.
You know, there's a joke about the day we invented time machine.
Right.
You want to ask, well, what historical event will people most want to observe? And the number one is the sinking of the Titanic. And so...
How macabre.
Well, I know, it's totally macabre. But the way the argument goes, the Titanic sank because so many people time traveled back to it to see it sink. That's what caused it sinking.
That's very funny.
So I have history because the movie made by James Cameron,
right,
back in the 1990s, I saw it in real time.
Right.
And when the ship sank, spoiler alert, there's Rose on a plank looking up at the night sky. There was no moon, no clouds in the North Atlantic.
It was a black sky.
Well, other than the stars.
Other than the stars, right.
So we know everything about the night sky when the ship sank. And she looks up, and there's her point of view, and it's the wrong sky. I saw this immediately. I'm in the theater.
You're sitting in the theater.
Yes.
Leo DiCaprio is freezing to death on a board.
No, by then he dead.
Well, he's dead.
He dead.
And she's looking up at the sky, and you see the sky and go, that is the wrong sky.
Now, I wouldn't have an issue with it, except the entire marketing for the movie was how accurate things were. He went to the bottom of the ocean with Robert Ballard, a great oceanographer, and they found the Titanic.
That's true.
And they know where the rivets are, the staterooms, the China patterns, all of that.
Right.
And they duplicated that. Now you can't
you can't even duplicate the night sky.
I know you can't verify the China patterns and the thing. You're just trusting them on that.
Right.
But I can verify the night sky, and he got the wrong night sky. Not only that, it was a lazy sky.
What's a lazy sky?
The left side of the sky was a mirror reflection of the right side of the sky.
So basically they were like, half a sky is good enough. Let's flip this over.
I would later learn, interestingly, that there was a reason for that.
Why?
Because they only made half a ship. And in CG,
and then CGI,
the other side. So the duplicating one half became just a thing they could do.
Right.
And they just did it with the sky.
Yeah.
All right. So I wrote to Jim back then. I have my finest letterhead. Hair Dr. Tyson,
nice.
The Planetarium Museum. I got no reply. But years later.
Dear Mr. Cameron, albeit I am a fan of your work, your lazy sky sucks.
So a few years later, I would bump into him because I was serving on the board of NASA, and he was on some committee, and there was a conference, and we met, and I said, Mr. Cameron, have you...
did you get my letter?
Did you get my letter? He said, no. I retold him, he said, that was done in post-production. I wanted him to like grovel at my feet.
No.
And so...
No, he was like, no, I had nothing to do with it.
I had nothing to do with it.
Right.
I said, you the head of the damn project.
Right.
So years later... He's given an award here. There's an organization renting this museum space at night to give him an award, and they gave me a courtesy invite. And I said, well, sure. Is James Cameron going to be there? They said, yeah. And would you like to come to dinner afterwards? Just a small group. I said, is James Cameron going to be there? They said, yes.
Will his chef be as lazy as his sky?
So I go there, and I tell him this all again, and he says, well, last I checked, Titanic has grossed $1 billion worldwide. Imagine how much more it would have grossed had I gotten the sky correct. It was like, oh. That was the done. Burn. 2 weeks later, he called. I got a phone call. He says, hello, is this Dr. Tyson? I said, yes. I forgot his name, Johnny Smith. I work post-production for James Cameron.
Uh-oh.
And he's, And he said, James Cameron is producing a Centennial Director's Cut.
Oh, sweet.
And he's recutting some of the scenes. And he tells me, you have a sky he could use.
Oh! Yo, that's hot.
Yo. So.
Wait a minute.
So I created the sky, and he put it in his thing. Okay? Then I found out there's a whole company that you tell them what sky you wanted at a moment, and they went ahead and did that. So I looked at this was the sinking of the RMS Titanic, and this resembles the sky that I gave him. Okay? This is done in reverse, obviously.
Right, of course.
Because the sky is white and the stars are black. But I gave him the map, and this is the Milky Way coming through. This is directly over Rose's head.
Right.
when she's looking up deliriously.
Right.
And I told him, I said, this is less interesting than where the Milky Way is. So if you want to put it over a little bit, I'm okay with that.
Right.
That's slightly
It's just
distorted.
slightly, but
we're cool with
it's
that.
still within the bounds of acceptability.
Yeah. So to me, the Titanic is all about death and disaster, but apparently it means something different to you.
It's a love story, yes.
A love story.
So is Braveheart. But listen, I'm not going there.
Okay, Titanic's not a love story.
It is.
Jim Cameron's movie is a love story folded onto a disaster.
Oh my.
Oh, you didn't know there was a disaster going on? You were just all touched.
I was blinded by love.
You all verklempt.
That's right. But listen, that's what made it even more romantic is that,
It was going on top of all of
on
that.
top of a disaster, like you can find love anywhere.
That's true.
Even in a disaster,
Yeah, that's
even
true.
on a sinking ship, you can find love.
Did you tell me you did something like this with your wife?
So what I did was the actual night that my wife and I met in Philadelphia, the sky above that location, I got that actual sky put into that heart with the message, your heart is my universe.
What?
So you can do
You
that.
were feeling the universe before you had any connection to
Before
Star
any
Talk?
connection.
Oh.
This is what I'm putting.
Chuck, it was destiny.
Your heart is my universe. So, and that's what's cool about this is that whatever message that you, so for you, it's the sinking of the RMS
Well,
Titanic.
in this particular case.
But you can put whatever message you want.
Right.
You could commemorate whatever date you want, whatever occasion you want, and then take a
Or Rose could
celestial-
say, the night I killed Jack.
Then, right. That could be Rose. It's just like the night I killed this guy.
The night I shoved him off my plank.
How romantic. And then dropped $1 million thing into the ocean.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So if you want to impress your life partner, and I mean in such a way that it comes with, shall I say, rewards.
It ups the level of romance.
Up the level of romance.
Take it up a notch.
Look at that. That was very romantic of you right there.
I'm just saying.
Take it up. Take your romance up a notch, okay? Go ahead and commemorate a moment celestially.
It wouldn't have to be when you met. It could
No,
be
it could be anything.
when you
How
took
about-
that romantic walk on the beach.
There you go.
Right,
Right. Our
right.
first night out at the movies. All right. The night we got married, anything. The birth of our first child,
Yeah.
because we don't like the rest of them.
And everybody knows what minute their child was born, so you put that in.
To the minute.
Yeah, yeah.
Everybody knows. What time were you born?
Unless you were really long.
You got me with that one. That's what I'm saying. No matter what the moment is, Under Lucky Stars has a sky for you. That's my point. UnderLuckyStars.com. Go ahead and do it, okay? By the way, I got you one too.
Oh.
I'm serious. I'm not going to show it to you now.